Hello, baby.
Hello, nasty.
Hello there. Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend.
Well, hello, little girl.
Hello, my treacherous friends.
Hello, operator.
The beginning of everything. Welcome back, my friends.
It's showtime.
We only know the wrong time to hit it.
Well, sometimes I hit record and you guys start talking about baseball, and then other times I don't hit record, and then
We won't be talking about baseball for a long time.
Okay, good. All right, welcome to episode 297. We're almost there. We're almost at brink 300. I am Jay, and with me is Mark and Bry.
Hey,
Hello.
what episode are we on?
297.
I think when we get to 300, we should just call it episode 301 and have episode 300 be the mystery episode. Just be like, yeah, that was a great episode we did last week. Hope everyone listened. Anyway, this is episode 301.
Or we could just do 2 more episodes and then quit forever.
You have to mine for it like it's a Bitcoin.
Yeah. If you could find that lost episode, you could win Brink coins.
Brink coins.
So what's going on, guys?
The usual. We actually
Jay, how? Oh, go ahead.
go. No, you by all
I
means.
was gonna-
Let's all talk over each other.
I was going to ask Jay how his anxiety was, because I can probably beat his anxiety.
Really?
Jay,
Well,
are you not talking to the microphone again?
how was that?
Where are you? What are you doing, Jay?
Is everything fine now?
That's better.
Okay.
Better.
Bri, tell us how. There's no way you could beat Jay's anxiety level.
Yeah, I'm very curious how you can beat my anxiety.
This actually, I wanted to mention this last week, but it actually wasn't over yet. But for 9 days, I had as much or as little, I guess, as negative $3,000 in my bank account.
Wait, what?
Go on.
You have us. You got our attention, Bri.
So your
Explain.
gambling addiction finally got the better of you.
So for 9 days, I had the lowest point I was at was minus $3,100, and I slowly had to move some money around to put it back into my account. But I went 9 days with negative money in the account, my bank account.
Are you allowed to have negative $3,000 in your account?
Well,
What? Explain, please.
Well, I mean, apparently you are, because all that really happened was. So what happened was, I went on a little bender at the casino, and I forgot that I had 2 bills due at the same time that come out of my account. So those bills came out, and then all the money I took out at the casino came out, and I didn't have anything to put back in. So I was like, all right, well, this will be interesting. Let's see how low we can go.
How? When you say you went on a bender at the casino, how much money did you lose?
About $3,000 probably.
Holy shit!
Over a weekend?
What games are you playing?
I was bouncing around from some of the table games.
Okay.
But I was with a couple of friends of mine. It was this girl I know's birthday, and I got her a free room for the weekend. So I was there Friday night to get her the room, and then I left, and then they were still there all weekend. So I went back down Sunday. Then I was hanging out with them again. So the weekend sort of got out of control. But apparently, I had negative money in my bank, right?
Wait, let me ask you a quick question, Bri.
Yeah.
What feels better? Losing $3,000 in the casino or losing $3,000 in Bitcoin?
What feels better?
I'm saying, what would be worse?
Well, I probably had more fun losing it at the casino as opposed to Bitcoin, where I just log onto a screen that's gone.
Because I was just thinking that Jay at some point has probably lost $3,000 in crypto coin, right, Jay?
I lost like 20,000 at one point.
Okay, that's why I see if Jay will actually have a heart attack during the show. Go on, Bri.
So here's the funny thing. So I was like, well, I know I'm screwed. I don't have any money in the bank, so we'll just see what happens. So I have this thing where I just get money at the casino. It just comes out of my account within a couple of days. And so this was the weekend, so it didn't come out till Monday or Tuesday. So I was like, all right, well, we'll see what happens. So I checked my bank account. They took the money out, and then they charged me $35 for every transaction. Because I took out $800 here, $900 here,
like an overdraft fee.
Yeah, so they
Okay.
charged me an overdraft fee of $35 per transaction, but they still took the money out, and whoever was getting the money got paid, and then I had another bill come out, and it was so. Long story short, over a period of like 9 days, I think I had about 7 or 8 overdraft charges of $35. But eventually,
You had
I got
7
the
or
money
8.
back.
You had 8 individual $35 charges.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, go on.
So here's the part that really pisses me off, though, is that I was trying to move some money around, but it was taking a while. And one of the things I was trying to do was link one of my accounts to my bank account. And in order to do that, you have to, you fill out like your bank information or whatever, and then they do like a 2-cent deposit, and then they take the 2 cents out. They kind of do it just to make sure your thing works. So they charged me $35 for that.
Oh my god.
Wait.
Because they put 2 cents into my bank, and then they took it out, and I didn't have 2 cents, so they charged me $35 for it.
Did you get that one? Did they tell me like you could tell me you called and they were like, okay, we're gonna waive that one?
No, I didn't bother with that. I didn't want to get involved.
You didn't want to get it all in 35. So you're just like, I'm gonna pay the $35.
Well, I didn't realize what it was until a couple days later on that one. Because I would get an email every day that like something was coming out of my bank saying you're being charged an overdraft fee, and I was just like,
Are you talking about like you linking your savings account to the checking account?
not my savings account, but another bank account that I have. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to start giving a class on personal finance?
I do not. No. So I'm back in the black now, so that's good. But it was an anxious few days because I didn't really know what was going to happen, and I had no money, and like I couldn't like go to the bank or do anything. And
why didn't you use your other account that had money in it?
Because that's my emergency. No one's supposed to know I'm touching an account.
Isn't having minus $3,000 an emergency?
Well,
is he getting charged $35 for transferring 2 cents in emergency?
Isn't that like literally the definition of why you have this account?
Well, yeah. What's the point of the account?
It's for when I'm down 5,000 or more. So.
well, I didn't really consider that an emergency.
Dad, I know they're taking you hostage and they want $5,000, but it has to be at least $6,000 for me to touch that fund.
It was kind of just a series of unfortunate events, not really an emergency.
But why wouldn't you just touch that? And so,
I didn't really want to waste that money because, like, they weren't coming after me for anything. Like, if they were coming after me, then I would have been like, all right, here's your money.
But it sounds like you wasted.
Like, it just kept piling on. I wasted like $200, but so what?
Wait, so you don't want to waste
$300
money, but you didn't call the bank when they charged you $35 on 2 cents.
Yeah, I don't like using the phone.
Your story has some inconsistencies in it.
Your story has some major problems. Did you just do all this so you'd have a story for Brink?
No.
Like the bank's calling you up being like, "Hey, Bri, we don't even think it's fair. We're charging you $35 for taking out 2 cents," and you're like, "I need a good story for the show."
No, the bank never called me. The bank never contacted. I mean, I got an email every time I was getting charged $35, but that was it.
I would call the bank and try to fight some of these overdraft fees.
Well, it's kind of hard to fight an overdraft fee when you have negative $3,000 in your account. What am I going to say? You're wrong?
No, you're going to get stuck with some of them, but they can waive.
I don't know. They could probably waive something.
Yeah.
They could probably just like, dude, like, we just felt bad for you. They'll probably waive something.
That's all right.
Have you been hit with overdraft fees before?
No, that's the first time I've ever gone below zero.
I bet if you call up Evil Bank Corp, they'll waive some of those.
Yeah, it's too late now.
I had that happen once with a credit card. I was paying it off, and there was like, say $200 left, and so I paid the $200, but I guess some interest went on there between when I.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me too. Yeah, no, I've gotten that taken care of.
But like, I never logged on again because I thought I was paid off. So like $1 and change went on the card, and then they charged me like $30 non-payment fee for the next month, and then I got interest on the $30 plus the dollar, and I went back on like 2 years later, and I owed like $700 something on a dollar. What
ended up happening?
Oh, I said it's no big deal, and I just didn't want I didn't want to be bothered with a phone call.
So you just paid the $700?
Yeah, so I just paid the $700.
Some guy just said I owed him 10 grand. I was going to ask him what for, but I just gave him the money.
I almost got taken to small claims a couple years ago from freaking Columbia House because I had a Columbia House account that was linked to a credit card that I don't even have and literally didn't use for 3 years. And I must have forgot to do like the no on one of the monthly selections. And I never got it because usually if I forget it, if I would forget it, they would send it to me and I would just send it back. And I kept getting this thing in the mail. And then finally I got like a collections notice that said they were going to sue me for like $39 or something. And I called up and I talked to this guy and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. He goes, well, I'm looking at your account now and it's a director's, selection of the month. I go, yeah, I know what it is. I'm telling you, I never got the fucking thing because I would have sent it back. And I could tell you, and then I had to call my credit card company and they were saying the same thing. And I'm like, look at my credit card. I have literally never used it.
How old was the charge?
It was like 2 years.
Oh, it's 2 years. Okay. Because they have a certain, like a statute of limitations, how long they can go after you for it.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
is this
like
a recent story?
This was maybe like 3 years ago.
So people are still doing Columbia House?
I was going to say, you were the last user of Columbia House. They're like, actually,
maybe.
we don't even need the money. We just want to confirm you're an actual person that's still using Columbia House.
Yeah, I had to explain to them. I was like, listen, look at my credit card history. Like, I've literally never used the card. So why would I use it for like whatever? It was like some kids movie too. It wasn't even like anything I would have gotten.
For those people who are listening and don't know what Columbia House is, this is something we all did as kids. They would send you a thing where you would get like 10 CDs for like $4 or something ridiculous.
No, that was BMG. Columbia House was
well, it was all like it was like 10 CDs for $4. All you had to pay is the shipping and handling, and the shipping and handling would always be twice the cost of the CD.
but it would still be a good deal. And then but
it would be
because the initial like 10 CDs that you can get was always worth it.
Well, it would always be a better deal than paying $17 for a new CD. But like when you end up paying like $5 per CD, and that was the actual CD cost them like 50 cents to make. So it was still a good deal for them too.
Yeah.
Right, but the problem is that then they would tell you, since you got that good deal, you had to buy like 4 CDs at regular price, and their regular price was like $20 for a CD.
Yeah.
Right. And then we'd all think we were clever by being like, you know what, I'm going to make an account for my pet. And I'm going to be like, Sparks thing. And they're like, oh my God, they're sending CDs to my pet. And then people would be like, yeah, they want you to do that. You're a moron. You're just paying them a lot of money.
Well, we had that good scam in college where when we got to college as freshmen, somebody was in the club, and then they had the thing where you sign up your friends and you get more. So, like, everybody just signed each other up, and we all got, like, a shitload of free CDs.
Wait, why wasn't I in on that?
You weren't in on that?
No. The fuck?
That's how I got in on it. It was, I think it was Howie. It was like, I think Josh did it. I think a lot of guys did it. One guy had it.
What was the deal?
It was like if you sign up a friend, you get like 4 CDs free, and then like so somebody signs me up, I sign up, so I get like the 10 CDs for $2, and then I sign somebody else up, and then I get 4 more CDs. So it was just like going around. You weren't in on that, Jay?
No, I was definitely not in on that. The other thing was I think they started sending you CDs, and if you didn't cancel, they would just keep sending you $20 CDs.
Right. Yeah, that's what Columbia House would do with this. They selection of the month or whatever.
Yeah, they did a lot of things to screw over kids. Like basically the fact that like everyone now downloads stuff and like steals it online, you're like, well, that kind of seems fair based on what the CD companies were doing to kids previously.
Right. Yeah. Remember the one of them you had to actually send in the penny. Remember?
No, I don't remember that one.
One of them it was like 10 CDs for a penny, and it had like a card, and it was a spot where you're supposed to tape a penny onto it.
Yeah, I guess now it would be like they like 10 downloads. Why don't they do that now? Columbia House has like downloads, same kind of thing. You have to buy like 4 downloads at regular price.
I think they still sell DVDs.
Yeah, they might even have do a Blu-ray thing.
Do you think they sell audio cassettes?
I didn't know they did at one point.
I think they did cassettes at one point.
Yeah,
or
definitely.
maybe I'm wrong.
No, they definitely did.
Yeah. So
Harden's hurt.
Is he really?
Warriors strike again.
Oh God! I was excited to watch this game after the show was over, but I guess
Warriors are. I mean, the Rockets win by like 10.
So Bri,
Yeah.
you now have more than
I have
$0 in your bank
money.
account.
Yes, I have
Okay,
money.
cool.
Yes.
So Columbia House is strictly DVDs now.
Oh, okay. Not CDs anymore.
Nope.
Okay, that makes sense. So what's going on, guys? Besides, Jay, how's your anxiety?
Horrible.
So I was thinking,
Is it negative $3,000 in the bank? Horrible.
would that make it worse or better, Jay?
I mean, I'm used to having no money. It would probably make it a little worse.
So, I was thinking we should talk about the power of now, Jay.
Power of now.
Yeah, the power of now.
Okay.
There's that book I told you to get, Jay.
Okay, but I didn't get it. So by we should talk about it, you mean you're going to talk about it?
Well, I just started reading. I'm only 20 pages into it, but it's a book like that.
Mark, you
it's
told
like
me about the book like 2 weeks ago, and you're still on page 20.
I know I haven't read that much of it. I don't
Well, Jay,
read the
you
book.
didn't even buy it, so.
Yeah, Jay, I'm still ahead of you, Jay. You have to go buy the book or get it from the library where I got it from, and then you could catch up to me. It's weird. It's all about the whole thing is that your mind is basically working against you. It's a very like spiritual BS, I guess. But it's the whole thing about how like the inner voice in your mind, you need to like shut off the inner voice and just live in the moment and ignore it. The inner voice is what's like making you miserable. Jay, is your inner voice making you miserable?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Brian, didn't you have an inner voice that makes you miserable?
I have an inner and an outer voice that makes me miserable.
So the whole thing is to like find. It doesn't really explain up to this point how you turn this off or ignore your thoughts, but you're supposed to ignore your thoughts and these fake feelings and really like be able to like appreciate what's going on.
I mean, for three guys who have a so-called comedy podcast, we're probably the most three miserable curmudgeons ever.
You wanted to talk about things that are annoying us? Move on.
Yeah, we did a top 5.
Top 5 things that are annoying us. Brian, you gonna start off by just saying life?
No, I actually wrote a couple things down.
Okay, cool. Why don't you start?
Are we going like ranking, or are we just shooting them out?
Oh, just not rank it. It'll be too hard. It'll be too annoying if we rank it. That'll be my number one thing. If we rank it, that'll be my number thing annoying me.
And yeah, because if we start ranking it, Mark's going to want to start from the bottom and do his backwards ranking system that makes no sense.
It makes no sense to start at number 1, but okay, fine.
Motorcycles and the assholes that ride them.
Ooh, it's a good one.
That's a pretty good one, yeah. The any particular experience you want to share, or just the fact that motorcycles?
No,
exist?
just in general. They're all just insecure attention whores is all they are. They're so fucking annoying. It's
They
like
always-
you get on the road and they're either going 100 miles an hour up your ass or they're going 20 miles an hour. There's like 40 of them and you can't get around them.
Yeah, no, they're annoying as hell. Like, I don't know why you have to like. Why is that something you have to do in a group?
There's
Why
also
you have to, like-
nothing better in a residential neighborhood than hearing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's loud as hell. You're annoying as hell. Like, I've never ridden one, so I don't know how much thrilling it is to ride one. But I don't know why you also have to do it in like this like jerk off crew. You have to be in.
The last year I lived at my parents' house, the guy next door got one, and he would warm it up in the driveway for like 20 minutes before he drove off on it.
And they only do that because they want attention. They want everyone to be, ooh, look at you. Ooh, that's so cool. Nobody fucking cares.
Jay, is this just that people that live around you have to be annoying as hell?
I think so.
It's like everyone that lives in your vicinity has to be like extra annoying.
My parents' house got robbed 3 times, and all 3 times it was by the next door neighbor. But it was all people kept moving out of that one house, and then more criminals would move into that house. So it was
your parents' neighbors robbed you 3 times?
Yeah, but it was the same house but different people each time.
How do you know it was them?
That's like that Chris Rock bit. They rob you in the middle of the night. They come back in. I heard you was robbed.
You didn't see nothing because you were doing it. How did you know it was the actual neighbors?
Well, one of them was we caught him trying to like. It wasn't like they wiped us out. Like one of them was like a kid and who I hung out with, and he was like trying to steal all my garbage pail kids. I'm dating myself here, and
But that's actually that sounds so much less than like what you, like. It sounded like you were like they robbed us. I'm thinking they ransacked your house. You're like he stole the garbage pail kid from me.
They
No,
did
He
us a
was
favor.
7.
there was
No,
there was
they didn't
one
rob
where-
us. They did us a favor.
There was one where they stole all the cash in the house, and for some reason, the jackass like slashed my speaker because he was looking for money inside my speaker or something. And one time they
Yeah.
stole a 50-gallon fish tank.
Is your number one going to be neighbors who robbed my family?
Just robbers in general, neighbors in general.
Yeah.
What? Why? Where were you living growing up? I got the impression you grew up in a middle class neighborhood.
I did. It was a bad block.
It sounds like a Jay. But so Jay, you want to buy a house, yet at the same time you've lived in the suburbs in a house, and it's been a bad experience.
Not as bad as my apartment experience.
Has anyone in your apartment robbed you?
They robbed me of my sanity.
Yeah, but you probably didn't have that anyway.
I had a little bit. I'm a
I don't know.
complete
It's-
mental case right now.
What's going on in making you such a mental case right now? The CPA is still like weeks away.
I think I just broke.
Is there anything that's happened recently that you're like,
No,
this
not a
put me
thing.
over the edge?
No, not a thing. My therapist thinks I've just been conditioned to have a panic attack every day, so now I just have one even when nothing's going on because my brain. is
Someone's
like,
Like instead of meditating, you just have a panic attack every morning.
yeah, my brain's like, oh, it's 7:30, time for our daily panic attack.
Is someone like ringing a bell, like Pavlov style?
Yeah,
has
when
like
the
a-
subway, when he hears the subway, he has one.
He just has like a little alarm that goes off. He's like, oh my god! Do you make that noise when you have a panic attack?
He turns into Mickey Mouse.
That'd be great. The only way I could do an impression of Mickey Mouse is to really have a panic attack. So tell me something bad going on in my life. What happens in a panic attack? What does your inner voice do to you?
It makes me feel like I'm having a heart attack and I can't breathe, and sometimes they throw in lightheadedness. It's different each time. It likes to keep me on my toes.
Like tell me about one that happened recently. What was going through your mind?
We're kind of getting off track from the
Yeah.
top 5.
I feel like we talk about my anxiety every episode. Let's talk about non-anxiety
Okay, let's move
stuff.
on. Okay, something that's annoying me. So my kids are taking swim lessons, and yes,
Of course, Mark's is the story.
of course, mine's the story. So they have swim lessons. The swim lessons begin at 10 o'clock. They each want a half hour, and they're private swim lessons. So they're a little more money, but we couldn't figure out the group lessons. It makes sense timing wise, so we did the private one. We paid a little extra money. The guy who's doing the swim lesson, he's like maybe like 20 years old, 21 years old, whatever. And the lesson, we're at the pool. The lesson's supposed to start at 10 o'clock. There's a big clock on the wall. It's like an indoor pool. We can see the time. It's 9:57. So I go up to the guy. I'm like, hey, we're going to start the lesson? He's like, it's 9:57. Lesson's at 10. What the fuck's wrong with you? It's 3 minutes. Why don't you do your fucking job and get over to the damn pool and just wait for Mike? Like, just be ready to start at 10 o'clock instead of just standing here. It's not like he wasn't in the middle of doing something where like I'm interrupting him. He's literally just standing there, staring at the clock, waiting for 10 o'clock before he'll start.
It's pretty obnoxious.
Oh my god! I was just like, I hope you get fired from your. I hope you get fired from your from a real job. When you get a real job later on, I hope they say you're an asshole. You're fired.
So, what would you list?
Is
as
this
things
why
that-
you were late yesterday?
No, I was late because I was at a family thing later on in the day and
Oh,
I hit traffic.
I thought the whole thing kind of slowed you down.
Oh, I know. This was in the morning. I was like, you're doing nothing. You're supposed to do a swim lesson. You really need to wait till exactly 10 o'clock. You can't just be at least like by the actual pool where the kid lesson's going to go on, so you could start right away.
So
like-
what annoys you? Swim instructors or
Yeah, swim instructor. This experience annoyed me. I'm being a little more. I'm not being general like Bri. I'm giving an example of something that annoyed the shit out of me.
okay?
Yeah, I'm like, he's a fucking asshole. Now teach my kids how to swim.
Mine is office/elevator small talk. Because it's always the weather. There's like literally nothing else. It's a little cloudy today. We're on an elevator, so now we got to talk about clouds.
Could we cut to Jay's elevator? Hey, Brian. Is that Jay over there? Let's talk about the Mets. Mets kind of suck. What do you think?
Let's talk about the weather.
No. Let's talk about the weather sucks. Let's talk about the Mets.
The Mets suck.
Yeah, they really do. Is Jay having a good time yet? Let's follow him around. Talk about the Mets behind. Like, why is trying to work?
Are we just waiting, trying to add something else to my list? My list is going to be Mets talk.
Do you? The elevator talk. I find people. You don't see that much talk on the elevator, though. Do you see a lot of people talking in the elevator?
No, so it's usually not. But if they do, it's the weather. Sometimes everyone will be talking, waiting for the elevator, and then everyone gets in the elevator and it's silent. It's kind of weird.
I just find weird in the elevators, like, if people are going to different floors, how people move around. Like, you have, like, if there's 5 people, you'll have it, like, 2 waiting in the front, 1 in the middle, 2 in the back. Then one person gets out, the other person has to shift to take their space.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone has to be at a certain, like everyone knows where they have to be on the elevator.
Sometimes I get in the elevator and I still face backwards just to weird people out.
Like you're gonna kiss them?
No, I walk forward into the elevator and then I just stop.
There's been experiments on that with people where people will like, some people will be like purposely like face the wrong way, or face like the back, say, and everyone else will turn around to like conform.
Yeah, people do. Well, oh no, people haven't done that, but they get pretty uncomfortable.
You know, it's you should breathe heavily on them while the elevator is going too.
just smell them a little bit.
You should get off of the wrong floor and follow them to their desk, and just say, "I wanted to make sure you got here okay. I'm gonna go back to the elevator now."
Yeah, it just every time it stops, back out and be like, "Oh, it's not my floor. I can't see the numbers."
Just when someone's about to get off, go, "Don't get off here!" Oh, never mind. Sorry. Go. What other elevator games can we play? Do you ever hit all the numbers as you were leaving the elevator and say, "Later, suckers"?
No, I messed it up. I hit all the numbers and then I was still on there and I didn't get off. Why
am I not surprised?
Right. What's your next one?
I'm really, and this is just a stupid sports thing that annoys me, is nobody outside of the Northeast really gives a shit about the Red Sox and the Yankees when they play. But they hype it up like the whole world cares, and nobody does.
I mean, they do hype it up, but like, do you think they hype it up though if you're like in California? Like, I wonder if it's just like these are just broadcast to people in New York, the Northeast.
Well, I mean, like ESPN or the national channels or whatever, make it like it's a big fucking deal.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe also there's a lot of people from the Northeast that live elsewhere. I mean, there's a lot of people that live in the Northeast, like population-wise. So
yeah, I don't know.
It's just, yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, it's like they're making so much of a rivalry that you're like, a lot of people just like, if you live in Florida, why do you give a shit about the Red Sox,
right?
Yankees? My next one is my computer at work has the numlock. It has a little keypad with like the numbers and it says numlock.
Yeah.
Why is there a version of your computer where the numlock would be off? Why even have the numlock? Why would you possibly not want the numbers on your computer to work?
Oh, that's a good one. That and scroll lock. Like,
yeah.
There's no reason to have that.
My computer the default mode for my computer is to have numlock on. So like every morning I'm trying to type some numbers and I'm like, oh god, I have to hit the fucking numlock thing again to turn it off. Why would it have to be the default? The default is not that. The default setting on my computer is to have part of the computer not work.
I've never heard of a default setting like that.
It is insane. It is as if like I have to like press the button to turn on the letter G because maybe my computer thinks I don't want to use the letter G.
G-lock.
G-lock. Yes. Yeah. I'll invent that. Like, dear IBM, you guys should use G-lock. Why? Why would people not want to use G? Well, why the fuck would people not want to use their numbers on their fucking computer? How's that? wasn't really an idea for you. It's more just a rant. Fuck you, IBM, and every other company that makes computers. I'm gonna invent a computer that just has no numlock, and we'll see if anyone complains.
Nobody will ever notice.
Oh, no one's complaining about the X. You fucking need the damn thing. That's pissing me off. Okay.
I'm going to go with appropriation, which it seems like they're doing in every genre of every type of media now. Like,
Could you for the less intelligent listeners / me? Could you define the word?
that's where you take you take something that was say like something that had a man in it, and you just make it a woman or like a minority. Or
is this going to be Ocean's 11 with the women we've talked about like 12 times in the show already?
I saw a trailer for that about an hour ago, and it just luckily I had the sound off. It just looks terrible.
It does look terrible.
That's part of it. I mean, first of all, they named it Ocean's 8 because they have the balls to think they're going to make a trilogy of it and not overlap with 11. But like, and the person's name is Oceans. Like, just come up with an original idea. They're doing that in the comic books. Like, I read a comic the other day, and like Loki was a woman, and the Red Skull was a woman, and it's like, why? Like, just come up with a new character. The new Kick-Ass is a single black mom.
Well, okay. Would you appreciate is the original Ocean's 8? I thought it was Ocean's 11's the name of the movie.
No, this new movie is Ocean's 8.
Okay. Well, would you appreciate it better if Ocean's 11 they did a female version, but instead of actual females, the entire cast had the like surgery?
I'd rather see the original cast in drag.
Yeah. What if it's trans 11?
That'll probably be like 10 years down the road. They'll do like trans 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, they'll be like, Ghostbusters. It's not fair that none of the men want to be women on the Ghostbusters. We're gonna do one with all the men want to be women. I do find that kind of annoying when they have to like just make an original movie instead of like pretending like it's women need the right to be the Ghostbuster or women need the right to be the Ocean 11. Like, just make a different movie.
Right, like I watched.
Yeah, write something funny that you think is gonna work.
Right, I watched Atomic Blonde the other day, and that was almost like a James Bond type character, but it was an original character, and it was a female, and it was really good.
Was it? I wanted to see that. I missed it when it was on.
I've never heard of it. What is this?
It's with Charlize Theron.
Okay, so she's like a James Bond person.
Yeah, she's like a spy. She kicks ass. It was a good movie, and it was original. Like, and everyone seemed to like it, so do more of that.
Was it original? Because you just said it was just like James Bond.
Well, I'm trying.
It was based on a graphic novel, wasn't it?
Yeah, like if I'm trying to explain a movie in 2 seconds, that's what I'm gonna say. It's a spy movie.
Can we go back to calling it comic books instead of calling it graphic novels? Do we have to all say graphic novel, like the PC term? Can we just say comic books now?
As long as you're not like my girlfriend and call it cartoon books.
Oh, you like your little cartoon books. They're so good. Tell me about your little cartoons, Jay.
I should add that to my list of things that piss me off.
Why do we have to call it graphic novels? Doesn't that sound like just it's just like we can't call them midgets. We have to call them height challenge people. Like it's the exact same thing.
Yeah,
Jay.
I don't really care either way.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything that bad about saying comic book?
I think it just got a negative rep for being like for kids, so people tried to like adult it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're calling it like moron book for people that can't read without pictures. Oh, you can't like think of what the scene might look like in your head. You need like me to draw something. Great, okay, 5-year-old. But can't we just go back to calling it comic books? I don't understand. I understand like because at first you heard graphic novels, you were like, well, what the fuck's a graphic novel? Like I couldn't figure it out right away what the hell they were talking about when they're like based on the graphic novel. It's like
it sounds more.
It does sound professional, but like I don't know.
I don't care. I don't get upset if somebody says comic books.
Well, there have to be people out there that do, though. Like, there are people out there that are like, you probably say that. You're like, oh, you mean like it's based on a comic? They're like,
I think
sir.
stand-up comics got insulted, so they had to change the name.
Wait, what are stand-up comics called now?
Well, no, they don't want to be associated with comics, so they had to change the name to graphic novels. It was a joke. Fell flat. Fell flat.
Wait, and I'm not a comedian. I'm a graphic talking in person.
All right, let's move on. This is taking forever.
Okay. Wait, Jay, did you do yours already, or were we on yours? Oh, you did your appropriation. Okay, Bri. By the way, when you said appropriations, I thought somehow you were going to talk about slavery. But go on.
Yeah, I thought you meant reparations.
Yeah, I was like, no, the word that you have the wrong word.
Yeah, so I was going to tell
you know what hates? You know what I hate? Black people who are upset about slavery.
God
Pisses
damn
me
it!
off.
It's been over.
Black people complaining.
God, I mean, like, you know when you're not a slave today. Now, shut the fuck up.
Kanye
Stop-
says it was a choice. Come on now.
Stop being a slave to the past.
My next one is promposals.
Oh yeah, that is kind of. I've heard about these.
They're so
Brian, explain
fucking
explain what they are for people that don't know what they are.
It's basically like these stupid kids who act like the prom is the greatest thing that's ever happened, and they have to make these like elaborate like schemes to ask a girl to the prom, like almost like they're proposing to them.
Yeah, they're doing like a very elaborate it's the more important part is how you actually do the proposal than the actual prom.
Exactly.
I never even heard about this, but I hate it already.
Oh, it's
I don't-
horrible. And then they got to post a picture that says she said yes and all this bullshit.
Oh, of course,
And-
you can't do anything without posting it online.
Well, I think it's new. It's not like something that was part of our generation, unless I'm wrong.
No,
we-
I mean the people spend thousands of dollars on the prom now. I mean, I didn't go to my senior prom. I went to my junior prom. I think I spent like $200.
no, I was saying they didn't do prom proposals when we were
No,
younger.
right, yeah.
I think it's also like a Midwest.
Because we weren't a generation that was all about ourselves. That's why.
Yeah. How do you not be about yourself when with all this like social media bullshit now?
It's true.
I don't know. I still have all this. Well, I guess we can't talk. We do 2 podcasts for attention.
We actually do not do 2 podcasts for attention because our podcasts get no attention.
Well, just because we don't get attention doesn't mean we don't do it for attention.
No, we would stop doing it. We'd move on to something else. If we really cared about people listening. I mean,
Yeah,
it's.
Yeah, if
whatever.
we cared about numbers, the show would have died about 8 years ago.
Okay, so another thing that drives me crazy is you go to the supermarket and they're like, you're paying, and they're like, would you like to donate $2 to breast cancer or $2 to leukemia? And I'm just like, yeah, I don't feel like donating money right there. You're putting me on the spot, making me feel kind of an asshole because I'm going to say no. And B, hey, you're a billion-dollar not the actual individual asking me, but you're a billion-dollar corporation. How about you just give $2 to them? Like, instead of just, you have all my money, just give them my money.
Yeah. Take it out of my grocery bill.
Yeah, take it out of the grocery. You take it out the $7 you just charge me for like grapes or whatever. Just take some of that money and fucking pay them. If you have $1 billion, you have multi-billion dollars. I don't. How about you give to charity? I hate when rich corporations ask me to give money to charity when you guys probably don't pay your taxes and you asshole. You have the $1 billion. You give the money to charity.
And then they take all the credit. They're like, oh, we raised this much money. And it's like,
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
for nothing, really.
We raised $50,000 to leukemia. Yeah, that's wonderful. You just took all their money. How about you just fucking give? You already had $50,000. Instead of spending $20,000 this campaign, you could just given that money and left us all alone.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Yeah. Jay,
Billboard is pissing me off lately.
billboards.
Billboard. Billboard, like the charts, the music charts.
That's still a thing.
Yeah, they.
Jay is only pissed off by things that went out of style in 1995.
No, they changed the way they're counting their numbers now, and so they're saying that in the 60s the Beatles had like eight songs in the top 20 all at once, and so now this record has been beaten twice in the last 2 weeks. One of them by a rapper I've never even heard of.
Wait, what did Beatles had what? 8 songs in the top
20
200.
at
top-
the same time.
They the Beatles had 8 songs in the top 20 at the same time.
They had the top 6 at one time.
Holy shit! I'm a big Beatle fan, but I realized it was that. But so who beat them?
I'm gonna try. I think
Didn't the Chainsmokers have like a lot?
Yeah.
No, I think they only have 1 or 2 good songs.
They don't have to be good songs to be in the top 20.
No, that's true. I mean, the Billboard lists are always horrible. It's not like a good. It's not a good. I mean, obviously people like these songs, but like I can't look at that list and be like, oh, top 10 songs I want to hear.
Post Malone.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
that Karl Malone?
So
He's a rapper now?
Do you know why Post Malone is breaking all these records?
Because he looks kind of white, actually. Maybe that's it.
He's breaking all the records because they are now counting streaming, individual streams.
So, how did they count it before?
If a radio station played the song or record sales. So if you're counting individual streams, that would be like counting each individual record player in the 60s.
I mean, people don't listen on the radio as much. Why count the radio? Like the streaming, it seems like it's more like the records.
That's each individual person, though. Like, how can you count? Like, you were counting like a radio station or like a record sale. Now you're playing each individual. Like, if you have one guy who's just playing the same song over and over, that's going to count.
Well, they must. Do they weight it? Do you know the formula?
They're just doing. That's why all these records are being broken, because they're just counting that any stream.
Well, I kind of they have to change how they're doing it a little bit, because like people now listen to music on the streaming services on YouTube. They don't just listen to the radio, so you have to count for that.
Yeah, but you can't be like, oh, it's like the most popular artist of all time now because we changed the way we count stuff.
Well, I think anyone that hears Post Malone is the most popular artist of all time gets that Billboard is no longer relevant.
I don't think they're. I think you overestimate how smart people are now.
I mean, no one. Bri,
Yeah.
do you give a shit what Billboard says is the most popular artist of all time?
No, not really.
Have you ever heard of Post Malone?
No.
Maybe Jay would like Post Malone. Maybe you should go. Have you thought about going to a meet and greet with Post Malone?
I'm pretty sure I would not like Post Malone. Let's move on.
Okay. Brian.
Yes.
I thought you wrote these down.
I did. I can't read my writing on some of these. I'm just sick of politics. The whole fucking just everybody is an expert, and we're in this world now where like you could get people to say today's not even Monday, and it's just so fucking aggravating.
The fact that they've given up on the truth, like now, no, everyone has their own like version of what the actual facts are.
Do you know the Flat Earth Facebook page has 1.5 million followers?
I mean, that's not even up for debate.
Yeah, I mean, shouldn't Facebook see that and be like, we're done here?
Yeah, close shop. I mean, it's over. I mean, it's just so fucking aggravating.
In fairness, probably at least 100,000 of those people are just there for irony's sake.
Oh, I'm sure,
guess.
but there's, like, I posted something on there asking for the picture of the edge. Well, we talked about this last week. Like, they argue with me. They argue with me. So, like, some of these people really do believe that.
I was listening to something else where they referenced that, the flat Earth thing, and I was like, oh my god, I can't remember what it was, but I cannot believe people believe. Whatever. We have a president that denies like reality. So like, yeah, politics. I was in the break room in my office. They play scene. They always have seen. It's like we have like a joint. Our office is like a bunch of companies are all like the same place, and there's like a joint like kitchen area, and they always have CNN on. And I'm walking by today, and they had they're going on and on about someone said someone in the White House said that they made a joke about McCain saying, well, what's it matter, because he's dying anyway.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they're like, oh, he's got to apologize. Maybe he shouldn't apologize. It's a whole thing. Like, who the fuck cares? Like, they're real things that are happening. Stop talking about this crap.
Yeah, the whole apologizing thing. It's like are you really offended?
Like, everyone needs an apology. Just stop it. We're not 5 years old. No one needs an apology. Just move on.
Charles Barkley had the best apology. when he had to apologize to who did he just apologize to like a week ago?
Draymond Green.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. He's like, I'm sorry what I said, but I believe what I said. Yeah, but I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it, or something like that.
He got into trouble a couple years ago for saying that there was too many fat women in San Antonio, and they asked him to apologize. So he went on TV the next day, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not apologizing for that. You all got some real fat women over there."
Charles Barkley's like a bad guy wrestler.
Yeah,
That's great. That's really great.
Like Andy Kaufman.
I'm annoyed by I take the train all the time for work, and there are people it's like on one side there's 3-seaters, one side there's 2-seaters. If you sit down on the train, you're the first one that sits down. Where do you sit? Do you sit on the inside, like on the window side, or you sit on the outer side?
Yeah, you always sit on the window side.
Yeah. The people that sit on the outer side and leave their bag on the seat and just hope it's going to be a goddamn packed train, and they're just hoping no one sits next to them. Asshole, we're all taking the, you want someone to stand because you're like, I just want my space. I want people to feel awkward about asking me to move over.
Mm-hmm.
People, it just drives me insane that people do this. You're like, dude, why the fuck do you have to be like such a dick? Can't you just not make it awkward for people? Just sit on the window side, or make it really obvious that you're happy to move over.
Yep. Every time I go to Long Island, I have to deal with that.
Oh my god. Yeah. So that drives me crazy. Jay?
Apple, not the fruit. Although I could. Put that on
I wish.
too.
I was gonna say I wish it was a fruit. I wish you're like, you fucking just hang on that tree, and we have to go pick you every year. Everyone has to go apple picking. Go fuck yourself. You pick yourself.
Yeah, I don't want to go on a long extended rant. Basically, they've ruined this podcast, so I hate them.
Apple's ruined this podcast. Why? Because they also count Post Malone as being the all-time greatest artist.
Because I can't do anything anymore. We can't get incoming calls. The audio is all messed up. Everything's all fucked up. Oh, I went to the Apple store and I said, look, I used to have a Mac computer, and everything that happened inside my computer got recorded by GarageBand. It was easy. And now that doesn't work. And so I had to wait for an expert to come over. He's like, oh yeah, that's like a new built-in feature because they were afraid people were going to pirate music by recording it, by playing it and recording it. And I said, okay, I get you're afraid of pirating, but now I can't even record my own voice. So you went a little bit too far. And so they're like, okay, well, we'll set up a call with an expert. They'll call you tomorrow. So the next day I get a call and I tell them the problem again, and they tell me to hold on, they're going to get an expert. And I'm like, I thought you were the expert. So I had to wait another 10 minutes online, and they put some other guy on. And so I tell him the problem, and he's like, yeah, I don't know. Hold on a sec. So I'm on hold for 20 minutes, and this motherfucker is just Googling the problem because he tells me the first 3 sites on the Google hit because I Googled what the problem was, and he's like reading me like the first 3 hits, and so I'm like, yeah, that doesn't solve the problem at all. And he's like, yeah, well, to tell you the truth, I've like never podcasted ever, and I have no podcasting experience. And that was my call with the expert.
So they use the word expert really loosely at Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Guy didn't even know what a podcast was, and he was the expert.
Did you ever get through to anyone else that was helpful?
No, now I have to go back to the Apple store and tell them that their phone call sucks, and what's the next step?
Well, we're gonna get someone at the Genius Bar who has just Googled the word genius.
With a J.
That's really we got to try what's the other one? Google Hangouts. We got to try that one these days.
Yeah. I
just don't understand why it was working for so long. Maybe everything you touch, Jay, it's like you're the opposite of turn things to gold kind of thing going.
I'm the opposite of Midas.
Yeah. I got the un-Midas touch. Everything.
You're the anti dilly dilly.
Oh, can I add dilly dilly to my list?
Yes, me too.
Okay.
When did that start, and what the fuck is it?
It was a Super Bowl commercial last year, I think.
Yeah, but
how
they
is
didn't-
how is it used?
they just say it. It makes it like they didn't. There's no context to it. You're just watching a Budweiser commercial, and the guy says "dilly dilly."
And then like calls the guy who makes the beer or something.
It's like, hey guys, we came up with an inside reference, and we're just going to put it on national TV now.
And now all these idiots say it.
It's repeatable.
Dilly dilly is kind of a. I like that. Do you think we should like start saying that more on the podcast?
If I ever go on a stabbing spree, I'm definitely going to be saying "dilly dilly" while I stab people.
You're like your note to the editor. You're like you write a note to the editor before you kill everyone. It's like dilly dilly, stab stab, dilly dilly, fuck you, Budweiser. Brian, what's your last one?
I'm just the way people talk. Some of these things I hear some of the like
It's like dilly dilly.
some of the like phrases and like words that people use, especially like younger people, are just so fucking annoying. Yeah, dilly dilly. I can't stand legit. I can't stand I can't. People text me AF. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I guess it's supposed to mean it's supposed to mean as fuck, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just so
AF?
stupid. Like they'll write like I don't even know. I can't remember the last time I got it because I told the person never say that to me again. But
Sure, when you hit text, like you hit like send on the text that gives a warning. Do you really want to be that asshole that sends these acronyms?
But
Yes.
I mean, if you just go around and listen to like the way people talk these days, it's so aggravating.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like people have always said that though. Like our parents 30 years ago probably said the same thing about us.
I guess.
I don't know. I think that everyone, old generation, always thinks the younger generation sounds like they're goddamn retarded.
No, I know that's true, and I know I've reached get off my lawn status as a bitter old man, but
Probably you were on
Yeah.
get off your lawn status when we were in college.
what's true? But like, I work with a couple of people who are younger, and and it's just like, oh, shut the fuck up, like.
So this didn't even happen to me, and I'm not even that annoyed because it didn't happen to me. But this is, Jay, you want to buy a house and you want to live in the suburbs. Here's like ridiculousness you could like deal with in the suburbs. We were gonna put up a fence. We have a fence in our backyard, but the fence is like all like messed up, and we're gonna fix it. And one of our neighbors also was doing their fence, and I guess like we were trying to figure out what height you're allowed to put it up to. When our town says you're only allowed to put your fence to 5 feet, and so our neighbors apparently wanted to do it to 6 feet. Because they wanted to do it to 6 feet, they had to file for like a variance with the town that included having to send a certified letter to every house within like 200 feet of them or 200 yards of them. So like a whole neighborhood everyone had to get like these certified letters from them, telling them that we wanted to have 1 extra foot of height for the fence. Then they had to have a hearing where anyone in the public could go to and argue with them about their fence being too high.
Well,
And
there's
you think,
people that love going to those meetings.
Oh,
Mark.
yeah, that's the thing. You think that no one would give a shit. Like
Oh, no.
the neighbor wants to have his fence 6 foot instead of 5 feet. I mean, I understand if you want to have it 30 feet, that might be an issue. But 6 feet instead of 5 feet, who gives a shit? Like, I don't even know why you have to send me a certified letter. Much like you could just go walk out into your lawn on Sunday morning, scream at the top of your lungs, "I'm going to make my fence 6 feet instead of 5," and you're good in my mind. But they had this meeting, and apparently I was talking to the neighbor. I didn't go to the damn meeting. He said you had all these old people that live in the neighborhood that were there like complaining, and they wouldn't even be complaining about the height of the fence. They were like, "You're gonna do it white. White is glaring, and white doesn't look good." And he's like, "It's not about the damn color. It's about the height. I don't need approval for the damn color." And people would just still be like, "Yeah, but like white doesn't look as good, and it gets dirty." It's again, that's not the topic. Whatever color I want to make it, it's not the issue. It's the height. It's just, I'm like, maybe it's old people. It's not even suburbs. It's the fact that old people live in the suburbs, and once their kids go off to college, they get really old, and all they want to do is complain and drive people insane.
Yep.
Jesus, I didn't. That's so obnoxious.
It's just so annoying, and I'm sure, Jay, that will happen to you. You'll have some dumbass issue where you're like whatever you want to do to your house, like your house will be on fire, and you'll be in some meeting where you're like, I want to use water to put out my fire, and some old person will be like, I don't like water going near my house. You're like, what the fuck are we talking about? So my house is on fire. Yeah, but Jay, I don't really like water near my house. That'll just happen to you. Whatever happens to all of us, it'll be so much worse for you, Jay. Don't buy a house, please don't.
Jay, you're just gonna if you bought a house, you'd just be like the Klopex from the Burbs, right? You like never go outside. You wouldn't take care of your lawn.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Your house would just be like, bleh.
Oh, and there's a house near here who's letting their grass grow. I drove by. I've drove by it a couple times. If I lived right near them, I'd be like, what the fuck? What the hell are you doing? I know we had this whole rant about the lawns that didn't get recorded last week, but if you don't cut your lawn, people are gonna get really annoyed at you.
I don't get why.
Why? Because you live in the neighborhood. People don't want to see like normal house, shit house, normal house. Everyone feels like they spend a lot of money on their house. This is their biggest investment, and they don't want you ruining their investment by having like some shit lawn.
Okay.
You're gonna have to deal with this if you go to the suburbs. How's the house search going?
I put it on hold.
For waiting till the anxiety to do you in instead?
Yeah.
Jay, what's your last pet peeve?
My last one was actually the Long Island Railroad as well, so we can move on past that.
We do have Facebook questions, but do you want to just do that in our second part, or do you want to do them now?
Yeah, let's do that in our second part, but we can do emails now.
Okay. We're gonna record. Supposedly, we're gonna do our second episode this week. It's a two-parter tonight, and the second episode will just be the questions. Okay.
Lorenzo writes, hey guys, jump onto the vasectomy pool. The water's fine. Not sure why that guy on the show took 2 weeks to recover. I was back at work in an office job the next day with no side effects. That guy needs to grow some balls, pun intended. On a similar note, I have a box of 200 or so condoms I am willing to donate to the show. I thought you could brand them with something to the mark of the 300th show and then hand them out in Times Square. Side note, they're out of date, but I mentioned they're free, right?
Jay, why didn't you do guerrilla marketing? Brink condoms.
And Lorenzo,
would you if he put the Brink of Sanity on those, would you hand them out, Jay?
Yeah, in my free time.
How's it going with the pencils?
Well, they're pens, high quality pens.
How many do you have?
I have a lot of them. We don't need to count how many, but this is a good amount.
Okay.
Hey guys, this is Lorenzo again. Any updates on Mr. Robot? I only watched the first episode of season 3, then had to bail for other reasons. Haven't heard you guys mention it.
Still sitting in my DVR, along with a million other shows that I haven't watched.
I watched the first 3 episodes of season 3 and deleted the rest.
Okay, so it's not good, huh? I didn't even record the second season 3. Season 2 was so bad. Brian, you watched all of season 2, right?
Yeah.
What did you think of season 2?
Stupid.
So it was bad. What happens in season 3 so far, Jay?
Some more crazy plot twists. I just stopped caring.
The main character, you think he's doing one thing, 8 episodes in, it turns out it was completely different. Got you again, little viewer.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't that guy's wife get killed?
Yeah.
In real life?
I watched a couple episodes. I either watched 1 or 2, or 2 or 3.
On the show, whose wife got killed?
The chick with the baby.
The Russian girl who sometimes looks hot and sometimes looks weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that show's terrible. I don't know. It had so much potential. I have to say, as far as shows falling off, like that may be the fastest a good show has fallen off. Like, how many shows do a good first season and then just become shit thereafter? Like, Dexter at least had like 4 really good seasons, or 3 of the first 4 were really good, and then it fell off. But like, it had like a longer peak. How many shows have that? How many shows? Because season 1 I actually thought was a very good show. Can you think of anything else that was like had such a short, positive, like legitimately good show that fell off that fast.
No, I mean I heard Heroes did that, but I never watched that.
Oh, actually, that was a good. That first season was really good. Actually, that actually is a good example because I think after the first season it got really bad.
Lorenzo writes, "Hi Jay, let's say a genie popped up and said, I can have you graduate from the CPA with one click of my fingers on one condition. For 1 month you have a scrotum attached to your forehead and you have to go about your normal day activities. But not just any scrotum, it's the same color, size, shape as Shaquille O'Neal's. Do you go for it?"
Jay, you have to say yes to this.
So it's not really Shaquille O'Neal's, but it just is the same size, shape, and DNA of it.
Yeah.
Jay, what's the problem, Jay? It's got to be easier than studying for the CPA.
Probably
People
would
wouldn't
be
bother.
easier than
People wouldn't bother you on the train.
That is true. Yeah, I would not do that though.
Really?
Yeah. Would you?
Right. Yeah. Well, what am I getting for it? I don't care about passing the CPA.
What if you had no ants? You were guaranteed no floods in your house.
I'll wear the scrotum just so you pass the CPA for 1 day. I'll wear it for 1 day just so Jay passes the CPA.
I'll wear it just so I can pass the CPA, just so I can say I'm a CPA. Jay isn't.
Oh, Jay, we were going to hire you, but we got this resume from a character named Brian. He has the CPA. Ooh, we're going to pay him triple what you're making, Jay. How's the job search, by the way? Any updates on that?
No, not yet.
I assume no one from your work actually listens to the show, right? Or do you want to edit that part out?
I mean, we spent like 20 minutes on a job search the other episode, so.
Jay, we were going to get rid of you, but then we heard that you wouldn't seek to putting a scrotum on your forehead to pass the CPA, and then we were like, yeah, we're going to keep this guy around. He's got moral character. I think I'd wear a scrotum on my head to. I don't think that'd be that bad.
No?
People
Go to work with a big scrotum on your head?
Yeah, I might work from home a little more.
It said you got to go about your normal daily activities.
Okay, well, I mean, it's the equivalent of the CPA for me. I think I might do it. Like, it sounds pretty miserable for you, so.
It is, yeah. All right, on that note, thank you guys for listening. We will be back soon.
Maybe next episode we should do 5 things that are cheering us up.
I don't think there's 15 things among the three of us.
Jake, do you think you could do a top 5 of things that make you happy?
I could, yeah. I'm not doing any of those things right now.
Should we do that for next episode? Top 5 things that are making us happy?
Sure.
People aren't going to like my list. It's just going to be like my son, my daughter.
My son, okay. My daughter, my wife, end of list. Black beans.
You've always done my whole list.
And pinto beans.
I was going to say probably Italian ice, but okay.
All right. Well, that was a preview of next week's episode.
Stay tuned
for more quality content like that. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you want to email us, thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com, patreon.com/thebrinkofsanity if you want to give us money. What else we got? Brink of Sanity 3 on Twitter and brinkofsanityshow.com, where you can be the owner of one of the last 4 Brink shirts. Thanks for listening, and we will be back soon.
Yeah, and let us know what you think of the show, and if you want to keep giving us feedback on this episode with Steven, everyone seems to keep wanting to give us feedback on that one episode.
Yeah, I think we're 1 or 2 feedbacks away from a new record for feedback for one episode.
Yes, for one episode.
And none of them have been positive so far.
Or about me, that's good.
I liked the Steven episode, but apparently a lot of people did not.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised with the...
I thought it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I totally have Steven back on. I don't really understand the... I assume that all the other people that didn't respond really liked him on the show.
The other 3 people?
I don't know. I thought it was a really good episode. When we finished that episode, it was one of those episodes that I was like, oh, that was a really good episode. I really had a lot of fun on that episode.
Fast forward a week, we have like a pile of emails saying, I'm quitting the podcast forever.
I literally, someone said, I'm going to quit the podcast because of that episode.
He said he'll check back in a couple of years. That's how turned off he was.
Yikes.
As if it was a recurring theme. It's not one episode, and like this guy's like, I'll never listen to your show again. I need a decade break from your show. I don't understand.
We've had like 295 shitty episodes, but that one was way too shitty.
There's so many things that are so bad in the show. I spent an entire hour talking about my goddamn nanny, and that's the episode that gets all the feedback.
I think the only other episode that got a ton of feedback was when Bry said he didn't like flip-flops or something like that, and for some reason that caused an uproar.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was like episode 7 or something.
I still don't like flip-flops. You're an asshole if you wear them. What do you think of that?
I could wear sandals every day of my life. Like, do you like sandals and not flip-flops, or do you like, is it all footwear that's like where your foot is exposed?
It's more flip-flop than anything, but
Okay. No, that's fine. I totally. If it was sandals, I might have something else to say, but flip-flops, go for it.
Okay, on that note, we will be back soon. Goodbye, everybody.
see ya.
Jay, you play the goodbye music now? I can't really tell.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just going to imagine you have goodbye music. Thank you, Apple.
Goodbye, everybody. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye.